Good morning, Breakfast Club family. This is Mark Stevens with your host, Joe Shoup. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Welcome to the members that always come, and welcome to the new members that's here for the first time today. Got a great program for you today, some great information, so we're going to get started here right away. Got a special guest with us today. So, Joe, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Mark. I'm doing great, thanks. Jennifer will be with us. Here she is. Good morning, Jennifer. Can you hear us?
I can.
Hi. Sorry about that little delay. We had a little technical difficulty this morning. No big deal. We're flying and we're ready to go.
Awesome.
But I want to do something first. First of all, let me say this. Jennifer Ashby is the CEO, founder. She is a network marketer, past and previous top income earner with a company I was actually in with her, but not actually with her, but in the company, and I knew of her and did not know her personally until later, until Tools Rock. But I remember Jennifer very well, and Jennifer created the tools for that company as well as being a top income earner, and it was a very exciting time for us. And I'm excited, Jennifer, that we've developed a relationship along with your husband, Anson, and that we're able to make tools rock for everyone.
I love getting on these calls and having you share that story because it's such a small world, isn't it?
No, it really is. When I found out how that went, I was blown away by that. I just was like, I can't believe that this thing, man. One day I'll tell her even crazier story about growing up and meeting this doctor later in life who happened to be my neighbor at my birthday party when I was 5 years old. And we didn't know that until we were way into business together. So crazy. The strangest things happen. But no, first off, let me just say that about Jennifer. But Mark, good morning, Mark. I want Mark to share a story. This weekend, Mark and I talk every day, really, but this weekend, Mark had a very interesting thing happen. And I wanted him to share the story without actually sharing the person's name with that story, unless he gave you the okay, of course. But this is really interesting, Jennifer, because talk about a small world. Mark is friends with someone who went through our communication class, and he stays in touch with this person. And something very interesting happened this weekend. So I'm going to let Mark share that, and then Mark will reintroduce you, and we'll go from there. So, Mark, good morning, and as always, it's great being with you, and we will. I want to hear this story again, so it's very, very interesting. We started off with sending that message out. Why aren't you making the money in networking? And look, it's not a secret that most people don't, but that can change, and there's a reason why it exists and what you can do about it. And both Mark and Jennifer are going to share their thoughts on this today. So, Mark, over to you, pal.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Morning, Jen.
Good morning.
You know what? When you think about the last 14, 15 months as we've been doing the new Breakfast Club and trying to help everybody out, and we try to give you tools and things to do to make your business grow, and you hear Joe and I often say you just have to go to work. Well, I had this experience the other day with someone in Card Bars that's not even in our group. But as you know, Joe and I will help anybody and everybody. We're just those type of people. So you've heard us say that terminology and perception, it has to make sense. You've heard Jennifer say that when you're nervous, be in service. And, and you've heard Joe say, and I've heard him say many times, and I totally agree with him, that what is a leader? A leader is not a person just because they can lead. A leader is to give service to those that are following him or her. That's what a leader really is. And they're there for that person to help them grow their business. That's what a real leader is. Well, so this guy calls me on Skype, and he has gone through the communication class, and this is why you hear me tout it so much, because once I learned it for the first time, I've never forgotten it, and I don't know anything but it, and that's the only thing that I will use regardless of what anybody says or do. That's all I know. So he calls me, and he calls me on something that we both have an app on our phone called Glide, where we can talk to somebody in a video or we can text them. And he said, Mark, I've been, have you used Glide lately? I said, no, I haven't used it lately. He said, well, I've been talking to some people, and I can't seem to get them interested, in carrot bars. So I asked him, I said, well, what are you saying? And I know he went through the communication class because we talk all the time. So he told me what he was saying. I said, you know what? You've totally forgotten the communication class, because the language I hear you talking, I'm not familiar with that language. I said, as a matter of fact, let's do this. I'm gonna prove it to you that what Joe and I teach, I'm gonna prove it to you that it works. And we're gonna do this totally cold. I said, find somebody on your phone, you don't know them or anything like that, and get them on there. So he looked somebody up, and I said, okay, now here's what I want you to do. So what I had him do, I had him get that person, and I said, I want you to ask them this question. Who do you know would be interested in a career change for the right money? I said, put that in the text. He said, well, I haven't been able to get this guy, to do anything. I said, put that in the text. I said, I want you to do everything that I tell you, and just do it. Don't ask questions, just do it. So he texted the guy, and the guy texted him back, which he wasn't. Now he's texting back. And so they began a conversation. And I said, tell them this. And what I did, I went through the communication class basically just to save us time. I went through the communication class, the language that we use in the communication class with him. I say, this is what you text this guy. And the guy is very interested now in carrot bars. And before, he couldn't do anything with them. So I'm saying that to say this. Terminology and perception, it has to make sense. Those of you that have not taken a communication class, if you're wondering why your business is not working, you have to know how to ask the right questions, and you have to know how to use the right terminology, and it will work. So Joe, I'm gonna leave it there for the essence of time, and we can expand on this because I know Jennifer is gonna expand on it somewhat too with her information, and and then later on another call we can go over it even more. But that's what happened. Terminology and perception has to make sense. You need the communication class, and it will make a big difference in your business.
Wow, Mark, I love that. I love that story you just shared, and just knowing what to say, and doing it. And so many people try to reinvent the wheel. So many people try to, oh, well, let me just say this or let me say that, but you guys have something proven here. You have something that's working. You have tools. People don't need to recreate them, and when they use them, they get results. And that story you just shared was proof of that. So I was happy to hear that.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, and and then what happens. When we bring somebody in, the first thing we have to do, we have to get them in, get them registered, get them, and this is the system I use, get them in Tools Rock, get them the education. Don't be so quickly to have to get them in a big package or whatever like that. First of all, you can do that, but if they're not educated and they don't have tools, or they don't have a system to let people know that they're in business and what to do, they're still going to be lost.
Yep. The biggest objection today that we all have to overcome as networkers is, can I do this? That's the question in everyone's mind. Can I do this? Because everyone knows someone that's in network marketing, right? Their friend, their neighbor, their high school buddy, their college buddy. There's just, you can look back in your life and people are in network marketing. People now are in network marketing. It's a huge, quickly growing industry, faster than ever before. So it's a tremendous industry. It has a lot of credibility. And what people are saying now is, well, yeah, I see so-and-so having success. I see that person having success. But can I do it? And if people, with their busy lives, with their kids, with their careers, with everything going on in their life, if people know exactly what to do and how to do it, they'll do it. Everyone wants more money. Everyone wants more freedom. People want these things in their life. They just give up on their dreams. They just start to think, oh, it's not possible for me. That's what holds people back. It's not that they don't want it. It's they think it's not possible for them. And that's what we all get to do, right? Be freedom hackers and show people, no, you can create this for your life. So, yeah, But what Joe and I were talking about just last week was leadership. And Mark, there's so many things that I can go into a direction about our role as network marketers and all of that. But what I really wanted to share today was something that does tie into what you shared, Mark, as a leader, and who Joe is as a leader. And I think that all of you on the line, whether you're leading one person or leading many, you are a leader as well. And Joe and I got into this conversation about leadership, and he said, "Yeah, come on the Breakfast Club again. Let's enhance this conversation here." And what I want to share with you is something pretty simple. Joe just said to me, "How do you define a leader? What's a leader to you?" Leadership is such an interesting topic, but I said in one word, which I can break down into an acronym, but in one word, a leader's job is to show that they care. And so many leaders out there are motivating. Motivation, motivation, motivation. And if any of you have been to a seminar or any kind of an event and you feel great and you leave and you go home, and they call it the jacuzzi effect, right? You're in the jacuzzi, you feel nice and warm, you get out, it's cold, right? You lose that sensation. So motivation is kind of like that, right? So then the solution is, oh, well then be motivated every day. It's like, where's that coming from? And what's that coming from? It's usually coming from a lack or a scarcity or a fear or oh, I need to constantly convince myself that this is what the direction I should be going. It's very different than being inspired into action. And as leaders, their job isn't to motivate people into action. Their job isn't to get people to sell, to get people to share. Right? That is innate in that person. They're going to want to do it when they're inspired, and then it's going to be more authentic from that person. So as a leader, how do you show your team you care? Right? Is the next natural question. Okay, so a leader's job is to show they care. Well, how do they show they care? Well, you can kind of break it down to C-A-R-E, right? The first is, and the most important, is to instill in your team confidence, right? To instill in your team confidence. And where that confidence comes from is that person knowing how to do it and knowing they can do it, right? So you often hear lead from the front, right? Lead by example. Well, that's great, but sometimes you can see leaders doing things and talking a good game, but then you're still like, but how do I do what they did? I just don't understand. How do I duplicate that? And that's where tools come in. Systems come in. The communication course comes in. Scripts come in. Step-by-step processes. Share this, say this, do this, get results. And Mark, your story just perfectly proved that, right? So when somebody has the tools, has the websites, right, that like we've created with Tools Rock for Carrot Bars, when you have the scripts, when you know what to say, your team has confidence. No longer are they thinking, oh, what if somebody asks me about the compensation plan? What if somebody asks me, oh, what if they want to get into this conversation? Their job isn't to do that when they know who they are and they know their role. So knowing where to point, being empowered by that gives them confidence. And then here's the rest happens organically. As a leader, when you help your team get the tools they need and the training they need, right, you're building their confidence. And when they have that confidence, they're going to get into action, right? C-A-A, action. And Mark, I guarantee you that person who was in action, right, they were in action, maybe incorrect action, but they were taking action. And you just instilled in that person confidence by telling them how to build, how to share, what to say. And I bet after that person got off the phone with you, they went on and did that same series of communication flows with a few other people because they had confidence. And whenever you have confidence in any area of life, it leads to action. And guess what? When you take action, what do you get? You get results. It's inevitable. If you're taking action every day, there's no way you're not going to get results. So now you have someone who has the confidence, they have the tools, they know what to say, and it's simple. It's not some big drawn-out process. It's not some memorize this long script, memorize this webinar presentation. No. Say this, point to that. That's why we have websites. That's why we have Systems and Tools Rock for Carrot Bars, right? That's why we have the communications course. So when you, as leaders, are empowering your team, again, that newest person that just joined you, by simply giving them the confidence, they will take the action. They will get the results. And now you're going to have a team that's excited. They're excited. They're enthusiastic, right? They're feeling good. When you have that in your team, that's when we see momentum kick in. That's when we see that viral growth. That's when we see them duplicating that with the new people that they bring in. And now they are becoming that leader that cares about that new person they're bringing in. And when you have a culture of your team caring about their downline, giving them the confidence so they can then themselves take the action, they then can themselves create the results and create that enthusiasm and that excitement from within, not from somebody else telling them, think this, say this, read this, but they feel that from within. You're going to have an unstoppable team. You're going to make the money that you want because you're doing the right activities. So, Joe, that's what I wanted to share on leadership. It's a really simple little acronym there, but as leaders, if we can all think of how can I show my newest person I care, then we're setting them up for some great success.
That's great, Jen. Let me just go back to what I sent out about why people aren't making the money they desire to make in this industry. And it's because they're not educated properly. They do not understand, A, what Mark went through, and B, what you just went through. They just don't get that. And if they do, and we're experiencing this from people from the communication class who are going into action, they're getting the training, and I don't think we've ever had a person come through the class that didn't say, oh my gosh, now I get it. Oh my gosh, I've been doing this wrong. I've been saying, now I'm prepared. I'm going to go practice. I'm going to do this, and I'm prepared now. And the problem is that, I'll just say this. I hope this doesn't. I learned a long time ago that most people are addicted to being mediocre or addicted to mediocrity, and I didn't believe that at first. And then I watched it happen over a course of a couple of years, and don't be that person. If somehow, some way, you're getting the tools, the education, you have Tools Rock, you know where to send people, and you're not performing the acts, the ACTS, to get it done, going into action, that's where the problem lies. I know this. Mark Stevens, every single day, uses a chart and uses a plan, and his plan is to make X amount of contacts every day. Contact meaning a person who said, yes, I will look at the information and let's get back together and see if we're on the same page. That is what it means to, A, go into action, and B, have an official contact. That's a contact, not calling somebody and leaving a message or talking to somebody and they might get back with. It's a commitment for both of you to get back together and see if you truly are on the same page to try to take the next step. That's what it is. And I see that even going through the class, some of the people aren't going into action. And maybe because they didn't, come out of there and study. This takes work. That's the catch to it all. It takes work to utilize the tools, to understand them, and get yourself into action. So that's the key. That's why the money is not being made by a lot of people, because they don't take the action. A lot of them are getting the education, and I don't mean hypey calls and hypey, putting wonderful quotes in chat rooms. I see leaders doing that stuff all the time, thinking that this is what's going to motivate, Jen, and it's not. What motivates people is getting the information, and like you said, getting the confidence They're only going to get that confidence through education, learning what to say, when to say, what not to say, how to say it, how to move them to the next step without, flubbing all the way through. And once you get that information, you have the confidence. So I'm very excited about that. I don't know why this went on the screen. Sorry about that. There we go.
And Joe, and that's up to each person. I mean, it's like that old saying, you can walk the horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Mm-hmm.
We have the websites built. You have the communications class. We have the inviting emails. We have the autoresponders. There's all these great tools that you can use to present, to expose people to what your opportunity has to offer. And everyone on the line here says they're in this opportunity to help people, right? To help them be financially secure, whether it's they want their free account or they want to be a business partner and affiliate with you. Either way, you have the tools. You just got to share it with people. You just got to get into the action. And, and that action part is up to the individual. They have to decide, right? You all have to decide, am I going to take action today? That begins with, do I know what to do? Do I know what to say? Right? And then once you do, this isn't throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? This is actually proven tactics that work here.
Yep.
Tools that work. So you have to ask yourself, do I know what to say? Do I know what to do? Do I know where to point? And if you're not saying yes, then you need to get with Joe or Mark and your leader and say, hey, what do I say? Where do I point? What do I do? And then once you have that information, then the question is, well, if I know what to say, if I know what to do, if I know where to point, why am I not in action? Well, then you got to look at yourself. Where are you stuck? Where are you blocked? And sometimes it's just as simple as saying, you know what, F it. I'm going to make a call anyway, and I'm going to do this. And you get one win. You have one success, like Mark did with that individual. You have that one success, and that builds your confidence even more. You get results. You're going to get excited. You're going to share more. You get results. Excited, share more. It becomes just like you can have a downward spiral, you can have an upward spiral. Just like when things are going good, they get better and better and better and better and better. When things are going bad, they seem to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And you're in control of that direction that your life is going in. But you got to make that choice to take action.
Okay, Mark. Well, Jennifer, thanks again for being here. I always enjoy our talks and so on. And you're at your expertise here, and people just need to again go into action. We bring Jennifer on because she has such great information and great. It's not just a motivational speech. It's a plan. It's a real plan to know how to be the income earner that you want to be. So thanks again, Jennifer, for being here.
Absolutely, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Joe.
You're welcome. Mark, over to you, bud. We'll close out here.
Okay. It's very plain that people really don't care how much you know. They care how much you care. And again, when what we've been given here today, take it and think about it, because I can tell you this. I was so elated because that individual and I, we were on Skype going through this process, and he actually jumped up off of his couch with the biggest smile. I saw him. I'm looking in his room. He's sitting on the couch, on the phone, while we're going through this process. I wish we could have filmed it. It was the most gratifying thing in a long time, and that's what we want for people, Jennifer and Joe. We want people to be successful, and this is why, when you think about the funnels that Jennifer, as the CEO of Tools Rock, have helped us put together and have built for us, and if you use those, it's just like a carpenter. A carpenter can't build a house without tools. Well, guess what? You can't build a business without tools. And that's why we have Tools Rock. So when you put Tools Rock and you put the communication class together, we have the greatest product in the world. Only 1% of the world has it. The other 99% are waiting for us. So all we have to do is what? Use the tools and go to work. It's that simple. And you have people here to help you. So with that being said, make it a great day, everyone. We will be back here next week at 12 noon. Bring people back to the Breakfast Club and let them get some of this knowledge so they can help build your business. And you know what? You don't have to wait for anybody. When you have the knowledge and you have the confidence, which will give you that action, which will give you the results, and will make you enthusiastic. When you're enthusiastic, you can make other people enthusiastic. they'll get caught up in your enthusiasm and your belief. It helps your belief system. So keep that in mind today. And Jennifer, again, thank you for being here with us today. We always enjoy you. And everyone, go out and make it a great day. Peace and blessings to you. And this is Mark Stevens, our host, Joe Shoup. Say we will see you back here next week on Tuesday at 12 noon for the Breakfast Club. Make it a great day, everybody.